in a village by the tall baobab tree.
Over 30 years, Ndidi and Ifeoma had been best friends. They grew up in the same village, went to the same university, and even worked in the same city. But as life went on, their paths took different turns. Ndidi got married early, had 3 children, and lived in a beautiful house. Ifeoma, on the other hand, remained single. At first, Ndidi was sympathetic. She encouraged Ifeoma, introduced her to men, and even prayed for her. But as the years passed and Ifeoma remained unmarried, Ndidi's sympathy turned into mockery. "You are almost 50, Ifeoma. No husband, no child. What kind of life is that?" Ndidi would say, laughing. Ifeoma would force a smile, but deep inside, the words cut her like a knife. She had tried, oh, she had tried, but love never found her. Still, she was happy in her own way, working hard and helping people. One day, at a gathering with old friends, Ndidi embarrassed Ifeoma in front of everyone. "Look at Ifeoma, still single at 50. Auntie, how do you manage? Don't you feel lonely?" The room fell silent. Some laughed, but others looked at Ifeoma with pity. Ifeoma swallowed hard, then smiled. "Ndidi, I may not have a husband or children, but I have peace, and peace is a beautiful thing." Ndidi rolled her eyes. "Keep deceiving yourself. A woman without a man is nothing." A month later, everything in Ndidi's life began to fall apart. It started with her husband Chike. One evening, he returned home with a cold expression. "Ndidi, I want a divorce," he said. Ndidi laughed, thinking it was a joke. "Divorce after 30 years, Chike, stop playing." "I am not playing. I can't do this anymore." Her world spun. "What do you mean you can't do this? After 3 children? After all we built together?" Chike sighed. "You don't respect people, Ndidi. Not me, not your friends, not even yourself. You think being married makes you better than others. Well, let's see how life is without me." Before she could process the shock, her first son, Kene, announced that he was moving out. "I can't live under this roof anymore, Mom. You're always bitter, always judging people. I want peace." "Peace?" Ndidi whispered, remembering Ifeoma's words. Then, as if fate was punishing her, her business crumbled overnight. One bad investment, one wrong decision, and she lost almost everything. For the first time in her life, Ndidi was alone. No husband, no children around her, no money. And then one evening, she sat in her empty house, picked up her phone and dialed Ifeoma's number. "Ifeoma," her voice shook. "Can I see you?" There was silence on the other end. Then Ifeoma spoke. "What happened, Ndidi?" Tears rolled down Ndidi's cheeks. "I just need a friend." Ndidi sat in her darkened living room, clutching her phone as if her life depended on it. She listened to the silence on the other end, terrified that Ifeoma would hang up. "Ifeoma, please, I just need to talk." A heavy sigh came through the phone. Then, after what felt like forever, Ifeoma finally spoke. "Meet me at my house," she said simply. Ndidi let out a breath she didn't realize she had been holding. That night, she arrived at Ifeoma's small but cozy apartment. It wasn't as grand as the mansion she once bragged about, but it was warm, peaceful, and welcoming. Ifeoma stood at the door, arms crossed, looking at her with unreadable eyes. For the first time in years, Ndidi felt small. She felt weak. As she stepped inside, her legs suddenly gave way and she collapsed onto the couch. Tears spilled down her face. Ifeoma, my life is in ruins, she choked out. Chike left. My son doesn't talk to me. My business is gone. I don't even know who I am anymore. Ifeoma sat quietly across from her, her face calm. She said nothing for a long time, watching as Ndidi wept like a broken child. Then softly she asked, "And where are the people you impressed? The ones you used to mock me for not having?" Ndidi flinched at the words, but she couldn't deny them. The same friends she used to laugh with had disappeared. She had lost everything. Some even whispered about her behind her back. "I was wrong," Ndidi whispered, her voice cracking. "I thought having a husband and children made me better than you. I thought my worth made me untouchable. But now I see how foolish I was." Ifeoma leaned back, her fingers tapping against the armrest. "You see, Ndidi, life has a way of humbling us. You judged me for not having a husband. But what did your marriage give you in the end?" Ndidi shook her head, fresh tears streaming down her face. "Pain," she admitted, "a false sense of pride, and now nothing." Ifeoma sighed and stood up. She walked into the kitchen, and a few minutes later she returned with a bowl of steaming hot pepper soup. She placed it in front of Ndidi. "Eat," she said. Ndidi looked at her surprised. "You are not angry?" Ifeoma exhaled. "I was," she admitted. "For years I was angry. But anger is heavy. It suffocates you, and I refuse to let it control me." Ndidi picked up the spoon, her hands shaking. As she took her first sip, the warmth of the soup spread through her, chasing away the cold emptiness inside her. For the first time in a long while, she felt human again. Then, suddenly, Ifeoma's phone rang. She picked it up, and a bright smile spread across her face. "Hello, darling," she said softly. Ndidi's spoon paused mid-air. "Darling?" Ifeoma ended the call and looked up. "Oh, that was Kunle," she said casually, "my fiancé." Ndidi's heart slammed against her chest. "Your what?" Ifeoma chuckled. "Yes, Ndidi, I'm getting married." Ndidi's mouth fell open, but no words came out. Life had just thrown her another unexpected twist. Ndidi stared at Ifeoma, her mouth slightly open. The words echoed in her head. "I'm getting married." For years, she had mocked Ifeoma for being single, but now, here she was, broken, abandoned, and sitting in front of the very woman she once belittled, the woman who was about to start a new chapter in life. "Kunle," Ndidi finally managed to say. "Who is he?" Ifeoma smiled, staring at him. "A wonderful man. We met 2 years ago at a charity event. He is kind, patient, and he loves me for who I am." Ndidi swallowed hard. The irony of it all was almost too much to bear. "When I was busy judging you," Ndidi said, her voice barely above a whisper, "your life was moving forward, and I didn't even see it." Ifeoma sighed. "Ndidi, I never needed a man to complete me. I was already complete, and that's something you never understood." Tears welled up in Ndidi's eyes again. "Ifeoma, I don't deserve your kindness after everything I said to you." "You don't," Ifeoma said honestly, "but life is too short to hold grudges. I forgave you a long time ago." Ndidi bowed her head. "I wish I could go back and undo everything," she whispered. "You can't," Ifeoma said gently, "but you can learn from it." That night, as Ndidi lay in bed, she thought about her life. She had built her entire identity around being a wife and mother. believing that made her superior. But now, stripped of all that, she realized she had no real sense of self. Weeks passed, and slowly, Ndidi began to rebuild her life. She sought therapy, made peace with her children, and even reached out to her ex-husband, not to beg him to return, but to apologize for the woman she had been. Most importantly, she and Informa became closer than ever. But this time, Ndidi listened, truly listened, and learned to appreciate Informa's journey instead of judging it. When Informa's wedding day finally came, Ndidi stood by her side, not as a bitter woman drowning in regret, but as a true friend. Lessons from the story. Never judge someone's life's journey. Everyone's path is different, and happiness doesn't look the same for everyone. Pride can destroy relationships. Ndidi's arrogance cost her everything. Humility and kindness matter. And marriage is not the ultimate prize. A fulfilled life is about self-worth, love, and purpose, not just being married. True friends also forgive. Despite everything, Ifeoma chose forgiveness over resentment, showing the true meaning of friendship. And so, Ndidi learned the hard way that life has a way of teaching us the lessons we refuse to see. Sometimes through pain, but always for growth. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for watching. Please do like, comment, share, and subscribe. Do well to turn on your notification button for more interesting stories. Tune in to Jubosmiles African Folktale channel. Thank you.
Jubosmiles ties us here and declare.